So here's a quick video to show you how to draw things in Microsoft PowerPoint. In all of Microsoft Office's various tools, PowerPoint really is the easiest tool for drawing. When you try to draw things in Microsoft Word, Word tends to want to wrap the text around the things that you draw, and it just looks bad and it's hard to deal with. So the best thing to do is to draw something in PowerPoint and then drop it into Word. You can just copy and paste it. And off of the home ribbon, there's this area right here with all these various shapes you can pick. And I'm just going to draw a market diagram if you're taking an economics class. So I click on the line and I just click and hold to draw a line. And then I release, and then I click the line again, and I click and hold to draw a line again, and I've got a basic foundation for a graph. I always like to make it a little bit thicker so it's easier to see, so I'm going to go up here to Shape Outline. I'm going to change the color to plain black, and change the weight to something big like, say, 6 point, or 4.5 point works fine as well. Not happy with the size of that, so I'm just going to grab it and make it a little bit bigger. If I want to draw a supply curve, I just click on the line tool again and draw a downward sloping line, and that is a supply curve. For a demand curve, I click on the line again and draw an upward sloping line. I'm going to take both of those. I'm going to hit Control and then click on both of them and go into the shape outline, make that black as well, and make this a 2.25 point. In order to label things, you just go here to the text box and you click and you can insert a text box. So this is the price axis. So price goes here, and then we can go and change the size of the font or the color of the font or anything that we want. I'm going to do a Control-C to copy and a Control-V to paste and drag that text box over here and label this axis quantity. Same thing, going to grab the text box, going to click next to my supply curve, type an S to label the supply curve. It's a little bit odd shaped, that's better. Let's make it just a hair bigger, we'll bump the font up some. So there's a supply curve. And we'll do the same thing I did before. We'll do a Control-C to copy, a Control-V to paste. Drag that down here, change that S to a D, and that's our demand curve. Now to label the equilibrium, I just take a line from the equilibrium and draw it over to the price axis. Whoops, kind of missed it. That's okay, I can just move it a little bit. Kind of hard to get it just right. It's a little bit tedious. Or we can just move the supply curve to make it just right. You don't have to put these things, you can put them wherever you want. They're your lines. For showing the equilibrium, I like to make dashes. So we'll put some dashes and we'll change the outline. Again, let's make them all black. And go for a 2.25 inch weight. And we can just adjust these things until they're just how we like it. I'm going to copy and paste that dotted line, Control-C, Control-V. And just take that, move it to the equilibrium, give it a little pivot. And I've now labeled my equilibrium price and quantity. Let's go ahead and put labels on the axis. This is PE. We're going to take that E and we're going to give it a subscript off the font menu. We just go to subscript and the E is now a subscript. So that's our equilibrium price, or you might label it P1 if you're going to have to make any changes on the diagram. Actually, I don't want you to do that. Let's label it P1. And we're going to do I'm going to highlight that. We're going to hit Control-C and Control-V. And we're going to paste that right here and change that P to a Q. And we've got Q1 and P1 as our starting equilibrium. While we're at it, let's put some subscript 1s on our supply and demand curves. Just so we've got everything labeled nice. Subscript. And off the demand curve, type of 1. And then from the font menu, hit the subscript, hit OK. And now we've got a basic framework for a market diagram so that we can start to do some market analysis. And so if you're working on this project that I've assigned you and you have to shift a supply curve or a demand curve, all you've got to do is, say if you're shifting the demand curve, all you got to do is copy the curve in the label, Control-C, Control-V. Whoops, let's try that again. Control-C, Control-V, and grab the copy and pasted information and move it somewhere else. Change that D1 to a D2. And then we're going to take the indicators of equilibrium. I'm going to click on each of these lines, hold down the control, and click on them all, and do a control C and a control V. And now I can position a new equilibrium here. Just a little bit of rearranging of these things. And change the labels. And I've shown a new equilibrium really quick and easy. So there you go. That is a real quick rundown of how you can draw a market diagram in Microsoft PowerPoint. Now if I want to put this into a Word document, it's really easy to do. I just pull up a Word document. I'm going to go over here first to my slide over here on the left, do a right click and choose copy. And then I pull up a Word document and I can type a bunch of words describing my diagram. And then control V to paste. And now the diagram is inside of my Word document as a PowerPoint slide. In fact, if you double click on it, you can edit it in PowerPoint. And that's just a real quick rundown of how you can draw a market diagram inside of Microsoft PowerPoint.